It all kicks off with this kid named Steve. He had this big dream of diving into a mine, digging deep into the earth to uncover its secrets. But, he was just a kid back then, so nobody let him anywhere near the underground. Time flies and Steve grows up. Now he's done listening to people telling him what he can't do. One day, he just goes for it, heads straight into the mine he'd always imagined exploring. While he's digging around, he stumbles across something wild buried in the dirt, a shiny earth crystal, and this weird round orb. These things don't just look mysterious, they're straight up mind-blowing in what they can do. When Steve slots the crystal into the orb, boom! A glowing portal pops open right in front of him. Gathering his guts, he steps into the portal. The second he's through, it's like he's teleported to a whole new world where everything's blocky, like it's made of Lego or something. It's a place that feels like it was dreamed up by some creative genius. They call it the overworld. The coolest thing about this place? If you think of something, it starts to happen for real. Steve's totally hooked on this freedom. He's like, this is paradise for a creative guy like me. He decides to stick around. To keep from feeling lonely, he befriends this wild wolf dog and makes it his buddy. Days turn into months, months into years. Steve and his dog get super tight. He builds a whole world for himself, crafting a new life exactly the way he wants it. But then one day, he spots a different portal. He doesn't really want to mess with it, but curiosity gets the best of him, and he opens it anyway. Next thing he knows, he's zapped into another strange world, the Netherlands. This place is a total 180. No joy, no creativity.
It's all fear and darkness, like some creepy prison from a nightmare. The ruler hears this ruthless queen, and she locks Steve up the second he shows up. She snatches the earth crystal and the orb from him. Turns out she's been chasing these things for years because she's got a vendetta. She wants to wipe out the overworld. Why? Simple. The overworld never accepted her. She's out for revenge, ready to burn that dream world to the ground. Steve's scared at first, no doubt, but then it hits him. If anyone's going to save the overworld, it's got to be him. One night, he sees his chance and makes a break for it, escaping on his own. Risking everything, he sneaks back and steals the crystal and orb, but this time he's got a new plan. He calls over his dog and, with the crystal and orb stuffed in his bag, says, "Get back to Earth, head to my place and hide these. Whatever happens, you got to keep them safe." Full of loyalty and love, his dog bolts through the portal back to the overworld, then to Earth. Just like Steve asked, it hides the precious stuff under his bed at home. Time rolls on. Years pass. Then a new guy shows up in the story, Garrett, a grown-up running a small video game shop. Problem is, his shop's a ghost town. Days go by, and nobody walks through the door. Money starts getting tight real fast. One day, he gets hit with an eviction notice for unpaid rent. That letter feels like the world crashing down on him. He knows if he doesn't do something quick, his gaming spot's done for. Only one way out, he's got to scrape together some cash. So, with the last of his savings, he makes a weird call. He buys an old storage container full of junk, hoping to sell whatever's inside for a quick buck. One day, while checking out the container, he finds an old game box labeled Cosmos. That game used to be a huge deal back in the day. Garrett's thinking, if I can bring this game back, maybe people will start showing up at my shop. With that hope, he buys the container, but luck screws him over again. He opens it up and there's no game, just a bunch of useless broken crap. Still, buried in the junk, he finds this odd spherical thing and a green crystal. He sets them aside, not really sure what they're for. Later, he learns these things used to belong to some guy named Steve. How they ended up in that container? Total mystery. Garrett's driving home with the orb and earth crystal when his car's engine craps out. Pissed off, he jumps out and starts yelling in the middle of the street. Meanwhile, we meet a new kid, Henry, and his little sister. Henry's a super smart, dreamy kind of guy. His brain's always cooking up big ideas. Anything he thinks up, he sketches in his notebook first. He and his sister just moved into Garrett's neighborhood. One morning before school, he swings by Garrett's shop. The stuff in there blows his mind, and he starts hitting it off with Garrett. Time's short, though, so he heads to school. First class of the day, they're told to do a live drawing. There's a banana and an orange on the table, and everyone's supposed to sketch them. Henry's not like the others. Instead of just drawing the fruit, he adds a jetpack behind the banana. His imagination's off the charts, but his teacher sees it as breaking the rules. Henry gets chewed out, and the other kids in class start laughing at him. After that, he's fed up. He's like, I'm going to prove my ideas aren't just sketches, they can be real. So he works his butt off day and night, building a legit jetpack. He straps it to a skeleton frame. For a test run, he takes it to the school field. A crowd gathers to check it out. But some jerk kid cuts the jetpack's wires on purpose. The thing goes haywire, flying toward a nearby chips factory and crashing into some people. Henry's humiliated again.
The principal calls in his guardian. Henry knows if his sister shows up, he's toast, so he calls Garrett with a deal. If you come to school and pretend to be my uncle, I'll pay you $2,000. The mention of money's all it takes. Garrett's in. He shows up at school, bails Henry out of trouble, and later brings him back to the shop. There, Henry sees his jetpack's actually fine, not a scratch on it. He's baffled, wondering how his dream project slipped through his fingers like that. All his hard work, all his hopes, gone in a flash. He's gutted. He stares at the notebook he poured his heart into, then chucks it in the trash. His eyes are still locked on the trash can when they drift to that weird orb and the earth crystal. Curiosity takes over, and he walks over. He picks up the earth crystal and carefully slots it into the mysterious orb. He has no clue that this one little move is about to flip his entire life upside down, sending him to another world. All of a sudden, Henry feels this weird pull around him. The orb and crystal's power is yanking him somewhere, right to the entrance of that old abandoned mine, the same one Steve used to get to the overworld. Chasing this bizarre event, Garrett ends up there too. Meanwhile, Henry's sister is freaking out, worried sick. She searches for him, at home at the gaming shop, but Henry's nowhere to be found. In the end, Henry's sister calls up the real estate lady who helped them buy their house in town. Using GPS to track Henry's location, she drags the agent along, and they both show up at the same old mine. 4 people are standing quietly at the mine's entrance when, out of nowhere, the orb starts glowing with this intense magnetic pull. It's like some unknown world is calling them. In a split second, that pull yanks them inside. Henry, Garrett, his sister, and the real estate agent, all sucked into a brand new, unfamiliar world. This was the overworld. They look around and their jaws drop. The sky's color, the smell of the air, everything's totally alien. Before they can even process it, some guy from the overworld spots the open portal and jumps through it. Yup, he ends up in our world. Right then, word gets back to the Netherlands Queen. The orb and earth crystal are back in the overworld. She's pissed, roaring with rage. She shows up in front of Steve and lays it out. Hand over the orb and crystal and I'll let you live. Steve, with a sly grin, agrees. Meanwhile, the real estate lady's freaking out, spooked by the overworld's vibe. She's like, we gotta get out of here, this ain't our place. But right then, the sky turns pitch black. Night falls in a flash, and out of the darkness, these creepy skeleton monsters start creeping in from all sides, surrounding them. Everybody bolts, scared out of their minds. Henry's heart is pounding, his brain in full panic mode. Then it hits him. If only there was a wall here, we'd be safe. And just like that, his thought turns real, like magic. A massive wall starts rising right in front of their eyes. No time to waste. He whips up a fortified room around them, and that room becomes their only safe spot. The skeletons can't get in, but Garrett's not with them. He's still outside, and Henry and all the chaos forgot the orb and earth crystal out there. Garrett knows they're screwed without those things. Risking his life, he grabs the orb and crystal and sprints toward the safe room. But right at that moment, someone hidden in the darkness shoots an arrow from behind. The sudden attack shatters the earth crystal into pieces. All Garrett's got left is the orb. Driven by fear and survival, he hauls ass toward the old fortress Henry built to protect them. But the trouble doesn't stop there. Out of nowhere, zombie-like creatures burst up from the ground. They chase Garrett all the way to the fortress's roof. Things get so bad that the people nearby are in danger too. That's when Steve steps into the scene, weapon in hand, taking on the zombies solo like a badass. He's been living in the overworld for years, so he's dealt with this kind of chaos plenty of times. His experience kicks in. He looks up at the sky and shouts, "The sun's rising." He snaps his fingers and bam, the sunlight burns all the zombies to ashes. Everyone's staring at Steve, totally stunned. He introduces himself, explaining he's been living alone in the overworld for years. Then his eyes lock on the orb in Garrett's hand. He can see clear as day. The earth crystal's busted. When he hears this, Steve loses it, fuming. The crystal's gone, which means the only way to open a portal back to Earth is gone too. In other words, they might be stuck in this weird world forever. Hearing this, Henry, Garrett, and the others are crushed, like all hope's lost. But Steve pipes up, saying there's still a chance. There's one last Earth crystal hidden somewhere in the Woodland Mansion. It's not going to be easy, though. Steve says he'll help, but he's got a condition. When the mission's done, they hand over the orb. After some back and forth, everyone agrees to the deal. But to get to the Woodland Mansion, they're going to need some serious firepower. So Steve takes them to his personal stash, where he's crafted a ton of gear by hand and collected other stuff from battles he's won. There, Garrett spots a weird crystal. Steve warns him right away, "Don't touch that. Wherever you throw it, it'll teleport you there instantly." But Garrett being Garrett, he doesn't listen. He chucks it behind him, and poof, he's teleported far away in a flash. That's when he realizes Steve wasn't messing around. Steve starts teaching everyone how to craft weapons and tools. Henry picks it up crazy fast and builds a pressure gun that even blows Steve's mind. Garrett, on the other hand, his brain's never been wired for this techie stuff, ends up making some weird random junk. Steve's like, "Dude, what are you even doing?" Garrett shrugs and says, "Honestly, I don't care about making this stuff. I'm after that treasure hidden in the mine, the one that opened the portal to the overworld in the first place." He makes Steve an offer. "If you take me to that treasure, I'll hand over the orb, no questions asked." Their talks cut short, though. Right then, monsters from the Netherland launch a full-on attack. Their goal's clear. They want the Earth Crystal and orb for their queen. Everyone scatters, trying to save their skins. In the chaos, Henry's sister and another girl get separated from the group. To get things under control, Steve takes Henry and Garrett to a high vantage point. Once they're there, he hands them iron wings, a gadget that lets them fly through the sky as far as they need to go. Pointing at a huge mountain ahead, Garrett says, "Get past that mountain, and there's a secret spot inside, the Woodland Mansion. That's where the last Earth Crystal is hidden." Before they set off, Garrett wants to test something crazy. He suddenly pushes Henry off the edge to see if the wings actually work. Henry starts plummeting, but right before he hits the ground, the wings' magic kicks in. They spread like a bird's, and Henry floats up into the air. Seeing this, Garrett's confidence shoots up. He jumps off too, soaring through the sky. Steve's still a bit hesitant, but when he sees the Netherland Queen's soldiers charging from behind, he doesn't wait any longer. He leaps onto Garrett's back. They don't make it to their destination without trouble, though. Out of nowhere, their wings crap out. They all crash land hard on the ground. After the fall, Garrett, still shook, asks Steve, "Who the hell are these guys chasing us?" Steve, his voice heavy, explains, "They're the Netherland Queen's crew. Their only goal is to destroy the overworld. Years ago, when the Queen used to dance, her people mocked her. That humiliation's still burning inside her. She hates anyone who's creative or talented. She wants to wipe out everyone and destroy the whole world." Garrett pauses, then asks, "You want the orb too? What's your deal?" Steve looks down and says, "My dog's being held hostage by the Queen. If she doesn't get the orb, she'll kill him, and she'll keep me locked up for life. I need that orb, not for power, but to save my best friend." Meanwhile, Steve's dog is sitting there, super bummed out without his owner. Night's fallen. Henry's sister and her friends are on their own. Out of nowhere, the dog shows up in front of them. They spot the name on its collar and realize this is Steve's dog. It clicks. Steve's in deep trouble. The dog starts sniffing out Steve's scent, leading them down a path. On the other side, Steve's taken Garrett to that ancient mine where some hidden treasure was stashed, but bad luck strikes. Guards get wind of it and start trashing the mine. The three of them are in serious danger. Steve acts fast, shoving them into a cart and hauling ass out of there. The second they're out, the mine collapses completely. Seeing this, Henry flips out and yells at Garrett, "Your greed almost got us killed!" Garrett fires back, shouting, "My life ain't as easy as yours. I'm broke, man. This isn't some luxury, it's survival." Steve looks at Garrett calmly and says, "I get your struggle. I've been fighting to survive too." Finally, they make it to the Woodland Mansion. Standing at the mansion's door, Steve looks at everyone and lays out some serious info. First off, the ground floor is crawling with these scary-ass assassins wielding huge axes. They don't leave anyone alive. Watch your step. Then he adds, "The second floor's got these creepy wizards wandering around. Their magic tricks are no joke, super dangerous." Finally, he warns, "The third floor is where the Earth Crystal is, but it's guarded by Endermen. Whatever you do, don't look them in the eyes. Their gaze is full of mystery and danger." Here's how it goes down. Henry and Garrett cook up a solid plan. Garrett struts into the mansion, belting out a loud song to draw the assassins' attention. While they're distracted, Henry sneaks toward the stairs. Some of the assassins spot Henry, but he hustles and makes it to the third floor so fast that the second floor wizards don't even notice him. Meanwhile, Garrett and Steve hold it down on the ground floor, fighting off the enemies so Henry can do his thing without interruptions. Right then, Henry snags the Earth Crystal, but out of nowhere, a mysterious Enderman appears behind him. Henry slips up and locks eyes with it, and suddenly his mind's flooded with terrifying thoughts, like everyone he knows thinks he's a failure. Shaking off the fear and getting his emotions in check, Henry swings his axe and takes down the Enderman. When it dies, a new crystal appears in its place, one that can teleport you instantly. Grabbing the teleport crystal, Henry heads back downstairs. Steve and Garrett make it out of the mansion too. But as they're leaving, the Netherland Queen and her soldiers swoop in, snatching the Earth Crystal and the orb. They set off a bomb to make sure no one can follow them. The blast knocks Garrett to the ground, and Henry and Steve hit the dirt, out cold. When they finally come to, Steve's loyal dog finds them and leads them back home. Garrett's nowhere to be seen. Meanwhile, the Queen slots the orb and earth crystal into the portal, activating it. A laser-like energy shoots from the Netherland into the overworld, spreading darkness everywhere. Her goal's clear: take over the overworld. Even though Steve's crushed, he doesn't give up. He rallies his crew and gears up for battle, crafting new weapons and small bombs to fight back. Their attack takes out the Netherland soldiers one by one. Seeing this, the Queen loses it and sends out her most terrifying monster yet. Steve faces the monster head-on, diving into the fight himself. Henry knows if he can pull the Earth crystal out of the portal, the destruction will stop. Using his smarts, he rigs his pressure gun with the teleport crystal, shoots it toward the Earth crystal, and teleports himself right there. But as he reaches the portal, a Netherland soldier chucks a bomb at him. Henry hits the ground hard. Right before death can claim him, Garrett swoops in with a freaking air balloon, saving Henry's life. Turns out Garrett didn't die. He survived thanks to that balloon. Together, Henry and Garrett smash the portal's walls, destroying it and stopping the darkness from spreading over the overworld. Sunlight floods back in, and the Netherland soldiers turn into zombies. The Queen loses all her power. Even in her final attempt to take out Steve, she fails. And that's how Steve and his crew come out on top. Later, they start prepping to head back to Earth. Steve gifts his loyal dog to the group. He decides to stay behind in the overworld, ready to live life on his terms. Henry's sister asks him, "Why don't you bring your magic to the real world?" That question hits Steve hard, and it changes his mind. He decides to return to his own world. Together, they set up a new gaming zone for Steve. Henry and Garrett team up to launch a new video game, and it blows up, becoming crazy popular. Garrett's money troubles vanish, and Steve becomes a partner in the shop, putting on live performances there. In the end, Henry shows up to school rocking his jetpack, leaving everyone in awe, and that's where this story wraps up.
Yo, Mike, just saw that overworld flick. Dude, what a trip. I mean, portals, blocky worlds, skeleton monsters. It's like Minecraft got drunk and hooked up with a sci-fi thriller.
Right? I was losing it when Steve's dog just strolls in like, "Yo, I'm here to save the day." That pup deserves an Oscar for loyalty. But, real talk, how wild was that Earth crystal stuff? Like, 1 second it's glowing, the next it's shattered, and they're all stuck in cube land.
Totally. And Garrett, man, what a hot mess. Guys out here chasing treasure while zombies are popping out of the ground like, "Surprise, buddy!" I was dying when he yeeted that teleport crystal and poofed himself into Narnia.
Yeah, Garrett's got the survival skills of a soggy French fry, but Henry, kid's a genius. Building a jetpack and a pressure gun, I'm like, bro, you're 12, chill. Oh, and that part where he stares down the Enderman and almost loses his mind? I was on the edge of my seat.
For real, that Enderman scene was creepy as hell. Those eyes? Nope, I'd be out. But the Netherland Queen? She was giving major evil boss lady vibes. Like, chill with the world-destroying lady, it's just a blocky paradise.
She was so extra, dude. Throwing bombs, stealing crystals, all because she got laughed at for dancing. Get over it. But Steve stealing the show at the end, snapping his fingers to burn zombies with sunlight? Total boss move. I want that guy at my BBQ.
Oh, 100%. Steve's like, "I've been here for years, I got this." Meanwhile, Garrett's in an air balloon like he's in a Pixar movie. I couldn't stop laughing. But yo, that ending. Henry rocking a jetpack to school, kid's a legend.
Right? That's how you flex. I'm just bummed they didn't show more of the Woodland Mansion. Sounded like a haunted house on steroids. So, what's your take? Sequel material or what? Dude, sequel's a must. I need more of Steve's dog and Henry's gadgets. Maybe throw in a new portal to, like, a candy world or something. What do you think? Rematch with the Queen?
Bet. But she's gotta bring a better monster next time. That last one was scary, but went down too easy. Yo, let's grab some popcorn and rewatch it. I gotta see Garrett mess up again.
Deal. But if I find an orb in my basement, I'm out. No overworld for me.
Same, man. Let's stay in this world for now.